Oh, I've had too many noodles. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Joffrey Noodle Legs here today. Going to be doing a little rehousing today of my Brachypelma emilia. Now I've had the spider a couple of months. You may remember me doing the unboxing, and it came and it was it was about that sort of size, sort of juvenile. Anyway, the baby's molted out, and it's now like about that sort of, it's sort of doubled in size really. So, but it's still good size, that enclosure for the spider. But there's one thing I've discovered about the spider, is that this personal one here, likes to burrow, and it's built a burrow down here. But the problem I've got with this actual enclosure, if I can zoom in slightly, I don't have a lot of space to put a nice deep substrate. Now, if this spider actually enjoys burrowing, I want to give it that enrichment. I want to give it that sort of so it can burrow. There's Sullivan. Hello, mate. Here he is. He's always come to watch the videos, isn't he? Yep. So I want to give it that enrichment. You know what I'm like, guys. I love my spider to have the full enrichment of its life. So even from a sling to a juvenile to an adult, I want my spider to have everything that it requires. So I'm thinking along the lines, spoken to a few people, thinking, well, what do you think, guys? Do you think it's worth me rehousing it? And so what I've got another tub. Now this is pretty much the same, because the length and the width is perfect for the spider, no problem. It's just the depth. It's just not enough, because this one likes to burrow. So I've got this one, which is pretty much the same size. But look at the height. So I've got a lot of height there to be able to put a deeper substrate in, so the baby can build a better burrow. And I think that will make the spider happier, feel more safer. Because at the moment, it's what it's done. It's burrowed. So if I take you over, you can see. Be easier. See, it's right down here. Hang on, guys. Let me move the camera. Sorry about this. See, that's as deep really as I can get the substrate, and the baby is just sat there in the corner because it can't really sort of burrow anywhere. All it's got there is like a burrow down there underneath the cork bark, and it has attempted to make a burrow. So if I give it a taller enclosure, I can now sort of like make it so that baby can actually burrow, because it does enjoy burrowing. It spends a lot of time in the burrow, and I want to give it that. So what we're going to do, guys, is cut the spider out, and we will try and get it moved, shall we? So let's try and catch the baby first. Now actually, I think what I would do first is do the new setup first, and then we'll catch it, so then we can just move it straight over. So let's do the new setup now. Right, so what we're going to do then is sort of build the let's put some substrate in there. I'm going to be using spider light, because I tend to do like this and my spiders seem to really enjoy it. So we're going to pop a load of this in. It's quite cool because it's got a nice bit of soil, but it's also got things like bits of wood in there. It's got little bits of leaf in there, and I think it's got vermiculite in there as well. I'm sure it has. So what we're going to do is put a load of this in, just to make it flat. Going to layer it up more. Going to put quite a bit in, guys. Like I said, this spider does seem to really like to burrow, so I'm going to give it that best opportunity I can to allow it to burrow. So I'm going to put quite a bit of substrate in here. Sorry for the mess, you know what I'm like, guys. I'm not the most tidiest. So that's a nice depth there. So what I'm going to do because I don't forget I've got to put a hide in. I'm going to put a bit more in here. First thing, next thing I'm going to do is actually put the hide in. I've got a lovely bit of cork bark. I like the shape of this. It's quite nice. So I'm trying to think, do I have it that as the entrance or that? Because if that would sit like that, which it doesn't, but if I can put it like that, it can sit down there. That's it. Don't need that. I'm going to make a nice hide for it. I'm going to make it quite deep there so it can already figure out it's got a hide. I'm going to put some more substrate on the top here. The hide, there we go. That's quite nice. I've got a figurine here. I was thinking about putting that in, but it might take up too much space. Let me have a little look. I quite like it because it's a dinosaur and it sort of like fits in with the it sort of fits in with the actual coloration of the lid and everything. Got a bit of plant. Let's have a little look. I might put a bit of that around the dinosaur. I'll pop it around it like this, underneath there. Yeah, that's quite cool. Quite like that. I did have a little water dish because I brought it upstairs. Just putting my hands on it. It's the thing, you know what I'm like, guys. I'm so disorganised. Yeah, I quite like that. So the spider's got somewhere there to explore. Got some more bits of cork bark. Could sort of give it a bit of cork bark in there as well. Gives it something to climb. Over here, just there. No, maybe not. Maybe just down there. Yeah, I quite like that. Pop a little bit of leaf litter in there. Crumble that up. The Brachypelma emilia do prefer a drier environment, which this substrate will dry out and it will give it that. It's quite nice. There's my little water bowl. Going to pop that down here in the corner. Actually, I'm going to move that out for a minute. Put a bit more substrate down there. There we go. I'll pop that on the water bowl on there. There we go. That's quite cool. Again, a little bit of a cork bark in there. There we go. Just a nice little setup for a little juvenile thing. You can always change things up, guys, as you go along. Let's go in and have a little look. So here we go. We've got Rex there. I think that's from Toy Story. That looks quite cool. He's got his water bowl and a nice big hide, so he can sort of like make a nice hide there and go deep as you know, deep down as he likes, because it does seem to like to burrow, this one. Yes, so I will give it that chance. I mean, I can put a bit more greenery in there if I want to. I mean, I've got these little things like that. You can just sort of, you can just stick them in if you like, you know, gives it a bit more coloration up there. That's quite nice. Anyway, I quite like that little setup. Doesn't need to be anything extravagant. It just needs to be something that's going to be comfortable for the spider. So, just pop you guys down for a minute without dropping my phone. I've already dropped it twice today. Yeah, so I'm going to pop in some water into the water bowl. There we go. We're going to move this out of the way, and then we're going to put the baby there, and then we're going to catch it up. So let's do that now then. Right, so hopefully we're going to try and catch the baby out of here. I'm just going to move some of the things out just so we got less sort of things to sort of be in the way. There we go. The baby is, like I said, it is sitting there almost like it's going to go into the hide. It's a nice little size. It is starting to show its colours, which is great. It's got its sort of like orange legs now coming through. So I've got my little catch cup. So what I'm going to try and do is try and see if I can egg the little baby to come out of there without doing the runner. Hello, baby. Come on, sweetheart. Come on, baby. Out of there. That's what we want. We want you to come out of there. There's a good baby. There we go. I've popped it over there now so it can't go anywhere. So now I'm just going to try and squeeze this lid down here. Very gently. Move the baby over without all the webbing, preferably. There we go. Little baby's caught up there. So there we go. You can see it's starting to get its colours now. So that's really nice. So that's cool. So what we're going to do is just pop that down for a minute. I'm going to move this out of the way. See if there's anything in there I can reuse in the new enclosure. Because I do like to try and reuse stuff if I can. It's got some bits of bark in here which might be quite good. Let me pop the new container there, guys. There we are. Yeah, so I'm thinking about maybe I could pop a nice bit of wood down here, like there. That's quite nice there. Just gives the spider something else to sort of climb. And I might try and salvage some tiny little bits of the older sort of leaf litter that are in here. Okay, like that. So we've got some leaf litter. What I'm also going to do, guys, is get a tiny little bits of the spider's webbing, and I'm going to just ponk it around here, just like that, just so the spider might, we don't really know, the spiders might leave their own sort of smells, and or not smells, but their own sort of like, for you know, something on them that can attract them to their own sort of area. So putting that there, I think gives it that sort of it might do, it might not, but you know, I might be just being a bit daft. More than likely that being the bit daft. So what we're going to do now, guys, is try and move the baby in there. Okay, so we're going to take the lid off this. I'll give you a little look at the spider. You see it's got all the orange colours coming through. It's a nice little size. This is a good sized little house for it, to be honest. So what we're going to do is very gently pop that like that there. Okay, and I'm just going to encourage the baby to come out by sort of like moving it gently, keeping my brush in contact so she doesn't feel that's any threat. There we go. And the new baby is in the new home. Let's have a little look at it, shall we? Try and zoom in a little bit for you guys. What a beautiful spider. Absolutely love the Brachypelma genus. I think it's such an underrated species. I really do. And she went over there, good as gold, in a new home. Got her water bowl. She's now got a new pal there, Rex. If she did want to have a little climb, she could climb on Rex. But more than likely, she'll just stay down there and find her burrow. So what I'm going to do, guys, is do what I normally do, and that's come and sit down next to Sullivan, if he'll let me. Oh, look at me without putting the lid on. You know, you remember all my videos when I first started doing them, I was so overcautious, like making sure I put the lids on. But please, guys, do that, because it's so important to keep your spider safe and yourself. Sorry, guys, you're not seeing nothing at the moment. You will do. Just give us a minute. There we go. If we can move the enclosure around. No, the baby's trying to climb up, so what we will do, we will pop that lid on. Okay, just so it's not going to jump out. I know it's going to jump out, but you know what I mean, guys. We don't want it to be running around the room. Alright, so let's have another little look, shall we? There we go. Beautiful spider. So there we go. So now you can see it's in a better home, because the substrate is a lot deeper. I mean, on that last one, I could only give it a substrate about an inch and a half, 2 inches deep. It's now got like about 3.5, 4 inches deep of substrate. See, it's got a nice deep substrate here, look. So that's going to benefit from that a lot more than what it was on. So there we go, that was successfully rehoused. This is the Brachypelma emilia. They are a New World species. They are terrestrial, opportunist burrow. This one definitely loves to burrow. They are they a beginner species? I would say yes, they are, to be honest. Out the Brachypelmas, the Amores, Smithies and Emilias, and maybe the Classies are the ones that I would say are beginners. The Bohemia and everyone, they tend to be a bit more hair kickers. So this one, I mean, as you saw, I didn't get no hair kicking whatsoever from this beautiful spider. There we go. So let's just stay and focus on that spider, shall we? Yeah, and she's a lovely little thing, and I think this is a good size like enclosure for her. Doesn't she look beautiful, or he? I mean, it molted out about 2-3 weeks ago. It's had a couple of feeds. It's feeding really well. It's got quite a good feeding response. It does like to, to sort of eat well, and it's doing really well. And I just love the colorations on it. They are a really nice species to keep, and I would really highly recommend these if you were getting your first spider, a Brachypelma emilia. You can't go wrong, because they are not as common as like a lot of common species. These and the curly hairs, to me, are the best two beginner species. They're just really great. I can't say anything else about them. So what we're going to do, I'm going to leave the video here. As you can see, the rehousing went really well. I'll give you updates on how well it's doing over time. So I'm going to give a few shout outs to a few YouTubers before I go, as I always do. I'd like to give a shout out to Mark the Spider Guy, Peter Webster, Spider Mum 1978, Unseen Universe, RS Designs, Unusual Pets, Incredible Inverts and Other Animals, Annie's Arachnids, Tea in the Deep Blue Sea, Robbie's Talking Teas, Dave's Little Beasties, Tom's Big Spiders, the Tarantula Collective, Reptile Innovation, Ellie's Bug Babies. All these fantastic channels, guys. You must go and check them out if you get a chance. Inverts for Chaz, go and check his channel out. Moon Over Miami, all great channels. Sean Spoods, go and check his channel out. Some great channels there, guys, so please go and check them all out, okay? And I'd like to give a thanks to a few YouTubers that always come in and watch my videos. Sorry if I leave you out, but, you know, I always do give you a shout out when I can. But I'd like to thank a few that come in regularly. Obviously, that's Jackie and Amy, Gemma, Catherine, Reese, Darren, Professor D, Stefan. These amazing people always coming in to watch me videos, you know, and I really do appreciate it. Michael Taylor, can't forget Michael, Moist, yeah, so can't forget him. Yeah, there's so many people that come in and sort of always leave little comments on my videos, come in regular and give them a little watch. Really appreciate it, guys. I really do. You know, I'm humbled by it, to be honest, but yeah, thank you so much. Anyway, what do you think of that beautiful little spider and that little rehouse? I really think the spider's going to be so much more happier in this little home here. It's a nice little setup, you know, beautiful setup there. Beautiful big hide for it to go in, to burrow down in. It will find it. It will find its own little space and place. It's got a nice little bit of hiding area there with the green around the sort of T-Rex. That's Rex from Toy Story, by the way. That's a pop vinyl. So it's very safe. It's very clean. It's got no sharp edges. So it's that's a cool little thing there. I was going to try and use it in one of my heavy webbers sort of enclosures, but I thought, nah, give it to this baby. It deserves it. Beautiful little thing. So there we are, guys. There's a successful little rehousing. So until next time, please look after yourselves. Look after one another. Please be safe. And I really hope I'll see you all soon.